I'd like to take the opportunity for another aspect of equal access. It is equal access to publications, which is one of the core activities of globethics.net. We have a commitment to increase equality by increasing access to information and documentation. We have this online library on ethics with 1.4 million documents online, downloadable, full text for free. And in addition, we have a concept for publications which is based on the same. For those who cannot afford to pay, for those who cannot do not have a salary to buy a book for $50 or $30, if you earn $500 a month as a professor in Africa or in Asia, it's out of question that you cannot have the access that you need. That's why we have a concept for publications, globethics.net publications, which is about downloadable for free, full text, and then the print copies for sales in a normal commercial way. Now, we have the chance today to have some launches accumulated, and the first is not a book launch, but a collection launch, which is done by globethics.net India, a Hindu ethics collection, and I give the floor to Sachu, Director of globethics.net India.
Thank you, Christoph. Good evening, friends. As you already know, globethics.net, in fact, started to make ethics content available to everyone, especially on online space. And over the years, the globethics.net has been gathering the content, not necessarily generating the content, but gathering the content. And it has a policy in terms of making these resources available free of cost. It is open and free. Almost all resources available on the website is open and free. Now, particularly, globethics.net has already launched a religious ethics collection, and it has already developed a collection, especially Christian ethics collection. And it was just 1 year ago when I was in Geneva for the regional discussions that we proposed that we take up this project on Hindu ethics collection. And during a 9 months period of time, we have successfully completed the project at its first phase. And I want to introduce to you Mr. Vikas Prabhu, who has been working behind the screen in terms of preparing the tree and then also gathering the content, working in association with Ignaz Haas and Stephen Brown under the guidance of Christoph Stückelberger. And today I'm so glad that we are ready to launch this collection, especially because the first Global Ethics Forum is being held outside Geneva, and that too, we are privileged to have it here in India, particularly in Bangalore. And then I suggested to Christoph that it would be really a great opportunity for us to launch this Hindu ethics collection, because globethics.net is not only committed for promoting business ethics, but also promoting religious ethics. Because we know ethics has been made more prominent and made more practicable by religions. And we have a religion here in India which dates back to 5,000 years ago, which has been successfully facilitating this ethical living among the people of India. And thus we have a huge collection on ethics, Hindu ethics in particular, but globethics.net with this Hindu ethics collection is not claiming that we have an exhaustive collection, but we have just started it. We hope that over the years we will be able to gather more content, make it as comprehensive as possible. In the process, though we have been working from Bangalore, Vikas has been in touch with many Hindu ethics experts in order to make sure that the tree is as comprehensive as possible. And you already have the handouts with you in which the tree has been already listed. And I would request now Vikas to introduce to you the basic tree and the concept. But before we launch, without taking the permission from Christoph, let me request Mr. Lindsay to come and click and launch this collection only on the online space. It's only a question of clicking, but then that is the official launch of the collection. Great. I thank Mr. Lindsay for opening the Hindu Ethics collection on the online space by making it available to everyone to access. May I request Vikas to explain and then continue?
Thank you for this, Raju. Just to reiterate what was told by Father, the Hindu Ethics Project is actually a part of a much larger framework called as the Religious Ethics Collection. As you had already seen in the previous page, we have already launched in the past Catholic ethics, Confucian ethics, and Islamic ethics recently. This will be the newest addition to our framework of religious ethics collection. This is the Hindu ethics collection. The real aim of having a religious ethics collection was to create a framework to categorize, to encapsulate, to classify, and to present in a coherent manner the ethical content of every major world religion. And this is what we have tried to attempt in the Hindu ethics collection. This project was executed over a period of 40 weeks, that's about eight person months. We have scoured the internet, gone through about more than 900 open access journals and websites, pursued a lot of people to get permission so that we can share their articles online, and we have ended up with about 1,800 articles in our database, 1,800 new articles in addition to what was already there. And in the process, about 1,400 articles have already been tagged to this tree. The Hindu ethics tree, as you can see on the screen, is just a framework. This is a framework which has three components. First part of the sources, wherein we have tried to list all the fundamental sources of Hinduism, starting from the most basic to the most diverse. We have tried to incorporate every sect, every subclass of Hinduism, every type of modern movement, every divergent phenomena that you can probably include under the scope of Hinduism. The second part is the institutions and various reference works which help in interpreting these sources, and the third part is the various branches of the themes that Hindu ethics practically applies in society. Just want to add quickly what is the extra thing that a Hindu ethics collection provides through this project. Normally in ethical discussions, discussions not which are very scholarly, but in discussions outside, what happens is Hindu ethics gets easily blanketed under the terms dharma and karma. We just use the words dharma and karma and say all of ethics comes inside that. But what we don't realize is that these terms are huge blanket terms. For instance, dharma has moral, social, legal, ritual, all kinds of dimensions. And Hindu ethics itself, when you look from dharma, it is deontological. When you look from karma, it is teleological. When you look at the purusharthas, it is eudaimonistic. Furthermore, Hindu ethics has so many different divergent approaches to philosophy. What we have tried to do is gather articles from various databases, put them into our online library, created this structure wherein each node, if you click on it, gives articles which have been tagged behind that node. For instance, if I click on Bhagavad Gita there, it will give you the articles which have been written in open access journals all over the world. It is still a process which is happening, but which would relate to that particular topic. And this is how it happens all over the tree. So anybody who is interested in researching Hindu ethics, come to this tree. It will probably help you in understanding Hindu ethics in a more coherent manner. Thank you.
Thank you, Vikas. Executing this project in record time is made possible only because of the passion and commitment of Mr. Vikas Prabhu. So let's give a big hand to Vikas. I also thank Christoph for making the globaletics.net open to make sure that every religion is represented, so that the common human knowledge and understanding is made more and more accessible to everyone. Thank you, Christoph, for the project. Great.
Thank you very much, Sachu. Thank you very much, Vikas. It is a big work, and typically we have in such projects doctoral students and a team of professors, because it's highly scientific, it's highly controversial, as you can imagine. It's the first ever international classification of Hindu ethics, and it took us months to discuss with scholars from different continents to agree on a joint classification. This is the innovative aspect of the scientific work. And then comes the handwork, which is as complicated, really, to submit one by one these 1,300 articles that are now in. This is, if you calculate for submissions per hour, you can calculate 400 hours, how many weeks and months we worked just on submitting only. Yes, so thank you very much on that. And we have another book launch to announce, which is launched today, also coming from India. And I give you the floor again, very briefly. Now first, Sachu.
Thank you, Christoph, once again. During 2013, globaletics.net India, its regional program, and Center for the Study of World Religions at the institute where I am teaching philosophy, this is Dharmara Vidya Kshetram. We have a center which is dedicated to promote interreligious dialogue, which has been in existence over the last 40 years now. globaletics.net India and Center for the Study of World Religions together had conducted 4 national workshops on ethics. Ethics is not a ready-made product, but ethics is a stream running through all aspects of human life. And therefore, we had taken for these 4 different national workshops, ethics and literature, ethics and economics, ethics and politics, and ethics and religion. And these workshops have been already concluded, and all the papers were already made available online at globaletics.net. And they were also simultaneously published in the journal, which is published from our Institute Journal of Dharma in its 38th volume. And the selected papers are being now released in this book format, edited book format, which has been made possible by the director of the Center for the Study of World Religions and the chief editor of Journal of Dharma, Dr. Jose Nandikara. Dr. Jose, who is also a close friend of mine and the Dean of the Faculty of Philosophy in our institute. So may I request now Christoph to present this copy of this book to Dr. Walter first, us to release the text. And may I request the presence of Dr. Jose Nandikara as well here on stage.
Yeah, it's our pleasure and honor really to thank you so much for this book and to hand it over to our president, Walter Fust, as a gift received in Bangalore, produced from Bangalore. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for this work.
I shall have a long night.
Thank you. And again, it's an example where they agreed that this can be bought, and even outside they will give copies that you can buy, and the online version you can download for free from the website of globaletics.net. We have another book launch also today, and also from India. So India's intellectual production is very impressive, I must say. Jacob. They translated a book into Tamil, You have the floor.
I know Christoph for the past 30 years, and he never misses the chance to spread the good news of ethics wherever he goes. And he had attracted the business community, but he never forgets the church community as a great role to play in the area of ethics. So he had written a book called Corruption-Free Churches Are Possible. It's a very special book which tells about the experience, values, and solutions. And we used it in India for a lot of references, and especially for the top people to come and discuss this book. And later we thought it's not good that only the top people of the Christian community should have this book, but then we thought that ordinary people should also have the book. So we have decided to translate this book into Tamil. And today, I'm happy to inform you that we are releasing this book by Christoph, and I'm thankful to one Reverend Chandramogan, who did the translation. And you also know not many of the people in our country use net. Okay, they are very ordinary people, simple people who also read daily magazines and daily papers and magazines. And I'm sure that this book will be helpful to the thousands of people in Tamil Nadu, especially in the church group. But of course, this is not only for the church, it's all the institution where he has written. It said in Tamil, Uzhalatra Tiruchavai Sadhyame, Adivar Christoph Stückelberger, Tamilil Arul S. Chandramogan. So I now invite Christoph to release this book, and may I request Reverend Asir from NCCI to come and receive the first copy.
Thank you very much, Jacob, and thank you very much for the translation. It is, you told me today that you really enjoyed to translate because to translate something that you can be behind and contributed to your happiness, as you said. So thank you for this big work. And it's my pleasure to hand it over, to release it to NCCI. Asir Ebenezer is the Finance Secretary of the National Council of Churches in India, which is the supreme body of all the churches in India, almost all. And as the Finance Secretary, you have to do with corruption-free churches. So I have to hand it over to you.
Thank you, Christoph, for the insights that you have given to the Indian Church for over a decade now. And also want to thank Reverend Chandramohan for making it possible for the Tamil readers. And with your permission, Christoph, we will like to place this in the library of the Tamil Nadu Theological Seminary so that pastors and lay people who undergo courses there will benefit from this book. We will, of course, buy more copies for our library as well. Thank you very much.
And yeah, it's a productive 2014 year. So we have to release another book today. It is not here in the language. It's here in English. It's the same book, Corruption-Free Churches, where the Africans were asking for a French version. And they have this January 2 big seminaries, workshops with 700 people, church people in Benin and in Burkina. And they wanted the French version for the Francophone African countries. So they translated it in Africa, and it is shipped directly to Benin and Burkina. So we don't have a copy here, but I'm happy to have Aurélien, who will receive it tomorrow in his house in Benin. If you can come here, to give you symbolically the English version, but you will have the French one. And his staff of GloBasicNet Francophone Africa, his staff is a translator. She translated a part of the book. So thanks to Angèle, and merci beaucoup Aurélien pour ce travail et pour tout cet intérêt de ça. Merci beaucoup. And announcements which are for the future. You know, in equality and diversity, equal access to resources, but diversity of languages is one of the commitments. So we have books in French, in English, in German, in many now, 5 books already in Indonesian, done in Indonesia by our partners in Global Ethics Net Indonesia, for example, Etika Islam dan Problematika Sosial Indonesia, you can understand it, Islamic Ethics and Social Problems in Indonesia, 5 books in Indonesian, and in Spanish, in French, and we start now 2 series in Chinese, and on Chinese ethics, and one will be with Liu, and one will be with Triwantian, and we are happy to announce it. We have not yet the books, but we launched 7 titles within the next 6 months in Chinese. And you are here and have for the same philosophy of making things available online, an announcement for that.
Publication, which is a TV documentary on ethical integrity when China in action. So I would like to also have the honor to present to the panelists or TV documentary. I got a whole bag of it, but and also water, please. Yeah. You have that, but I can do one. Okay, there is a USB here. Please. And you can also have a very short clip or yeah, the USB. Leon, I told you about that. Leon also, please. Yes, please. I'm both in Chinese and also in English version. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. We come to a close of this part with another announcement and thank. You see that decentralization, regionalization is important for the Global Ethics Forum and also for globalethics.net. And in the last 2 years, these regional programs have become very important. As you see here in India, as you have heard, for Russia, for Indonesia, for China, for West and East Africa, and for Latin America. And these are all very qualified people and doing it on an almost voluntary basis with a big impact and big engagement. And it's my honor to thank Sachu because it is his last day of function as Managing Director of Global Ethics Net India. We have 3 directors. We have Vasanti as co-director and Jacob as co-directors. They continue, but the managing director, Sachu, hands it over. He became rector of his institution, Damram College, Athenaeum now. And you see also this ability to really profoundly cooperate in an interreligious way. He, as a Catholic philosopher, with a Hindu doctoral student who are now PhD for a Hindu in Indonesia with Muslim as leading persons, you have this ability to manage that, and with secular people, of course, which are very important in India too, over the last 4 years. So thank you so much for that, and I have a little gift. The auditorium already can imagine what it is, because it's similar to what I have given today. So it's this for your great engagement background. Thank you so much. And I'm happy to welcome now the successor. We don't let you go without a successor. That's a part of governance with Polachan Kochapali. Yes, please. Come here to stage. So welcome. Thank you, welcome very much. And you will be introduced by Sachu.
Dear friends, Professor Dr. Father, of course, Polachan Kochapali is a specialist in ethics, Christian ethics in particular, and he had been teaching, or he had been associated with ethics over a period of 2 decades, and he had been teaching Christian ethics at our institute, the Vidya Kshetram, over 18 years now, and he is well known for his expertise in moral theology. And I'm very glad that he takes over today as the director of Globethics.net India, and I'm sure that in his hands this is going to flourish much more, because I know my investment of time had been considerably reduced over the last 2 years, and Father Polachan, with his expertise and his interest and much more the passion in ethics, will be able to contribute significantly in making Globethics.net India much more vibrant with its many more projects coming. They are in the offing. Father Polachan had also been the Dean of the Faculty of Theology over 6 years' time, and he had just finished his term last year, had been on sabbatical, and he has come back now. I think he is ready now to take charge of this new venture, and I'm sure that under his guidance, under his able leadership, this will flourish. Before I hand it over to Father Polachan, I want to place on record my gratitude to Christoph, because he had been instrumental in pulling me into this, but this association had been contributing much also into my own growth and into this association with lots more people who are interested and committed in ethics. So I thank Christoph for this facilitation. I thank very much Dr. Vasanthi and Reverend Jacob Belli, who had been my associate directors of Globethics.net India, because they had been involved in their own areas of expertise, and through that they had been contributing much into the activities of Globethics.net India. I want to place on record the great assistance given to me by Naro. Naro, would you please stand up? She is our program executive here in Globethics.net India, who is also a doctoral research student in psychology, and she has been supporting me because she has been working a lot than me. So thank you, Naro, for your accompaniment, your support in the office, and for making the programs much more vibrant. So thanking everyone, including Lucy, who had been at the back of Globethics.net India, because she is the one who facilitates the affairs in our office. Thank you, Lucy. And I also want to thank my own Pontifical Athenaeum, Vidya Kshetram, which has been very gracious enough to accommodate the office of Globethics.net India in our institution. And all the staff members are at the back of this project, and I'm glad that therefore even the Hindu Ethics collection could be launched with all their support and magnanimity. Thanking everyone, may I now hand over the office to Dr. Polachan Kochapali, wishing you all the best and God's blessings.
Thank you very much, Father Sachu, for your recommendation, and Christoph for appointing me as the regional director. And I have nothing more to say, but only to appreciate the company of Father Saju and Father Jose and many others on the campus whose accompaniment will certainly make me do my job in the area of globeethics.net. And I think I will be able to collaborate with others as Father Saju was doing his job excellently well. I to look forward to work with you and work for globeethics.net. And at this moment, I have nothing more to say on this auspicious day of launching of Hindu ethics. I just want to say one or two words. Satyam Vada Dharmam Chara. Speak truth and do justice. Thank you.
Thank you very much.